Billy got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to the latest episode of Boot to the Face here on YouTube and all your favorite podcasting platforms. Please go like us, share us, review us, follow us, subscribe, the whole nine on any of your favorite If you're listening to this on podcast, do me a favor. Hit that little auto download button that's on there. That way you don't even have to wait for us to let you know when the show is out. It's just going to do it automatically. You're going to look up and your favorite podcast is going to be ready to go from you just hitting that auto download button. I'm your host, Chris Rucker, along with my boy, EJ Reed, and we are here to talk about all the professional wrestling that took place over the past 6, 7, 8 days, which was a shitload. But first, how you doing, EJ?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing well. Yeah, got nothing to report. Doing well. The Knicks suck, and that's it.
A team that made it to the Eastern Conference Finals sucks.
You know what I mean. I'm not like all these people that are like the coach needs to be fired and we got to get rid of all these people. Like they did well this year. It's little things like so many layups they give up in crunch time when you watch these games. Like it's like every time they get ready to go on the road, it's like we need to stop. Halliburton just goes right down the middle untouched and gets a layup. It's like fuck.
Mental errors, but it's been a minute since we talked last week. I guess I don't even think the conference finals started because Wednesday was game 1, and that was the crazy ass game with the ball bouncing in for overtime. That shit was crazy.
It shouldn't even have been that close. Like that's what I'm saying. They've had some. I could see people that are like the coach needs to be fired, but he also got them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like they've had some bullshit go down in the conference finals, but hey, it's 3-1. They're not out yet. All you gotta do is win tomorrow and see what happens in Game 6. You can only win one game at a time. You can't win all 3 of them. So just win the next game.
So during that first game, I was in bed watching it. I thought it was over because it was down like 11 or 10 or whatever with like a minute left. Then Neesmith, who's my nephew, they're good friends. They graduated high school with each other. And so once he hit like the second one, I text my nephew. I said, "Your boy Aaron's going off." He's excited to take us back and forth. He's like, "Yeah, but I don't know. It might be over." Then he hit like the third one. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And we were texting back and forth. And then it was tied up with that lucky bounce. I'm like, "Oh, so your guy's about to pull it off, man." So
yeah,
it's crazy.
That shot was ridiculous. Like
Halliburton,
he lost the ball. Yeah, he lost the ball trying to get to the hole, and then just threw. He's made a couple shots like that to the point now where I'm like, yeah, it's not luck anymore. Dude's just good. Like it seems like he just throws the ball up without even knowing where the fucking rim is, and it goes in.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pro for a reason, but
yeah,
it was. But I missed the game where they said Cat went off for 20 in the fourth. I missed that game.
Yeah, that was game 3. That was really good. I was ready to turn the TV off, and then they just started. It's like, yeah, they come back. They get behind by a lot, and they come back. But it's like, goddamn, let's play with the lead. Like, why we got to get down by 20 before all of a sudden we start being like, all right, everybody, lock in. How about you motherfuckers lock in at the beginning?
Some people need that motivation. get the engines going, so to speak. But
It's just so. Who's your favorite basketball team, EJ?
I'm still a Bulls fan for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's been a while since I've been this deep with my team in the playoffs, and it's like the way they play by getting down so much. It's like the whole game is like every possession is important. It's like, all right, come on, get a fucking stop. Like the whole fucking game. And it's like, I just want to relax when I'm watching TV. But instead, I'm like standing up. I got my arms crossed and shit, like pacing back and forth. Like, can I get a game where y'all just either blow them out or y'all get blown out by like 40 and I know it's over? I don't know. Shit's nerve wracking.
Yeah, that sports feeling when your team's in it, it is nerve wracking. But you never know what happens. Like you said, they could come back. Either way, I think the West winner, which is most likely going to be OKC, man, they're looking like they're the favorites to win it all. But we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like New York needs one more shooter, and I think they could win it all. But right now, they don't have enough firepower to keep up with. Like, I feel like everybody on Indiana's team hits threes, and like with New York, it's Brunson. It's Cat. Josh Hart sucks at threes. Deuce McBride is like a poor man's John Starks, where he might hit like 5 in a row, but then he might miss like 17 in a row. And Mikal Bridges, my God, whose idea was for this fucking guy to take all the shots last night? We're down by like 3 and 4 with a minute left, and he's the only one shooting. But they need 1 or 2 more shooters because, like I said, Indiana and Boston too was like that. And fucking OKC is like that, and so is Minnesota. Really, like all these teams got shooters. It's like
I was say, how's OG? That's a local kid. He's from Jeff City. How's he shoot at 3?
I like OG. I like him a lot. I think he needs to be more aggressive. Like he's a fucking athlete. Like there's a lot of people that can shoot that are out there. He can fucking get to the rim, and I don't think he does it enough. He plays like. I feel like he could take the games over, but he just doesn't. He's just kind of like out there.
Hey, sometimes you got to defer to the person who's getting paid. It's Brunson's team, so everything goes through him.
Hear that shit, man. We trying to win, especially with Brunson on the bench all the time because he's getting in foul trouble, which is crazy to me. But whatever. And that's it. That's been Boot to the Face basketball.
Tune in for next week.
Yeah, we probably won't be talking about it. What a shitty finals that's gonna be if it's Indiana and fucking OKC. Like,
I mean,
who wants to see that?
People say that, but of course the ratings are gonna dip from that. But I think it's not bad having small market teams in there once in a while. Like, if that's a trend, then of course that'd be a problem.
It's not bad having one small market team in there, but 2 of them that nobody gives a shit about. Besides the team, the people, like, you don't go around the country and find Pacers fans. You know what I mean? Like, or OKC fans. Like,
I don't ever think I've ever met a Pacers fan in my life, or OKC, but I don't even know if I've met a Sonics fan before they moved the team. It's because Northwest.
A long time ago, though.
Yeah, it is coming up on 20. They moved like in 08 or something like that, 06 or 07, something like that. Yeah, that is
Was
crazy.
it that long? Was it? It was after the 2000s. I thought it was like in the
Kevin,
90s.
Kevin Durant played his rookie season in Seattle, so he got drafted 06, yeah.
I met a lot of Sonics fans because when I grew up, like everybody loved Sean Kemp, the Rain Man.
Yeah.
Like when I was coming up, everybody didn't cheer for the team that was in their city per se. They cheered for who they liked.
I saw people with Kemp jerseys, but I don't know if they were really Sonic fan. Yeah. I had a Kemp jersey.
It was also a fashion statement back then. You're right too, because I had some Charlotte Hornets gear back then, like everybody else did. And although Charlotte was good, like LJ and Muggsy Bogues and Alonzo Mourning when they were all younger, like they had a squad, but purple was the color back then.
Yeah, those teal, purple, those were like the equivalent of like everybody had the Raiders back in the day. Everybody had the Hornets for basketball.
Tie it all back into wrestling. There's a picture I have. I think I've talked about it on here, where it's like Christmas morning, and they were taking a picture of my sister, and I'm in the background, like on my knees with my wrestling men action figure. It's like Sting giving Lex Luger the business in the background, and I got a Charlotte Hornets hat on.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Hey, man, those starter jackets were dope. Didn't they have like a Cowboys one too? Cowboys, like a little starter windbreaker.
I don't know. I had the Charlotte Hornets hat. I didn't have the jacket. I had a San Jose
Sharks.
jacket, and then I had a Cowboys logo. As a matter of fact, when I just moved just now, I still have the same logo athletic Cowboys jacket I had when I was in high school.
Oh, word. That means you took good care of it then.
Yeah, I ain't worn it in like one of my first pictures I have with my son. I was wearing that jacket. We were outside at like a restaurant, and I have that jacket on because it was a winter jacket, but it doubled as a rain jacket. Like it had a little hood that came out the back of it. It was a dope jacket back in the day, but yeah, I still have it. Surprisingly, I can still fit it because back then you wore everything like 3 sizes too big. So it still fits now.
There you go. See, you were efficient with your buying even back then.
I don't think that was the plan. I'll take it.
Oh, man. Those were the days, man. Those retro 90s gear. You know, they even make replicas to this day. So, you know how good of a fashion trend that was.
It all comes back around.
Indeed.
I mean, it's like the fucking. I'm looking through Instagram right now to see if I can find that picture. Maybe I posted it on Boot to the Face or not. But I'm scrolling through and I have a bright pink Sting shirt on in one of them. Right when I said it all comes back around, it's like that pink Sting shirt got really popular over the last couple of years.
Oh, word?
Way back in the 90s, yeah.
Who sells it?
It was my. AEW started selling it, but there was a guy on Twitter. His name was like WCW something, and he would remake old WCW shirts, and he'd like sell them for, like he's gonna make like 1,000 of them, or he'd only sell them for like a month, and then everybody would order it, and then he'd ship them out. And somebody gave me the Iggy on who he was, and I got in touch with him, and he was done making the Sting shirts. So I'm like, come on, dog. Like, I know you got one more. He's like, all right, if you buy one, you got to buy two. I was like, I got you. And so I got the pink one, and then I got the black one. And the pink one I'd worn to AEW last year, and first when I was sitting front row, and I was like, I think every time I go to AEW, I'm gonna wear that shirt. But I watched it a couple times and worked out in it. Now it's like the pink don't pop as much as it did when I first got it.
It could be AEW's version of the green shirt guy. Just come in the same shirt.
I could afford AEW green shirt. I could be pink shirt guy for AEW. Can't afford that shit with WWE, which I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, that was my plan. I was like, I think if I go to AEW shows from here on out, I'm gonna wear my pink Sting shirt. And then it didn't hold up, and I was like, well, I don't want to fucking walk around looking like a bum.
So the one that AEW sells, is it like a their version of the old one that came out back in the day or something?
Yeah, so the original one says Sting in big black letters, the pink one, and underneath it it's got like the scorpion that says Fatal Encounter. Mm-hmm. AEW's said Sting Final Encounter with the scorpion on it, and it had the date for Revolution last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So theirs is more of a dated thing, but that guy, his shirts were selling like crazy, and they were getting really popular. And AEW kind of jacked his swag a little bit, and he was not happy about it, which I don't blame him.
So I'm gonna go off on a limb and say the original was a WCW shirt, right?
Yeah, back in the 90s. You go watch old WCW shit. You can look in the crowd and see people. It was there was a pink one, there was like a blue one, it was like a neon blue, and then there was a black one.
I know Sting owns the rights to his name, but does WWE typically still sell the merch of wrestlers who they still got like the IP information, like the intellectual property of like an edge if they go to a different company?
So Sting, that was how we knew he was leaving WWE. Was you looked up and all his shit got ripped off WWE shop. But it's weird because the last time I was on there, they still had some Edge stuff like on sale and a couple other people. But usually when those guys leave, they just take all their shit off.
I guess they're that petty they don't want to pay them when they leave. Yeah. But
well, I mean, you put the shit on sale and get rid of it. Like if you've already got it made, you know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of fucking Sting coffee mugs. Put them bitches on sale for like $3 and at least get that out of it. But they rather just like you said be petty, which again we're gonna talk about later when it comes to WWE.
Yeah, but so I can see like a Sting because he still owns the name and you're promoting him, but like so somebody who you have the name to, like an Edge, like why wouldn't you continue making money off it? Because he's going by Adam Copeland in the other company. I don't know. Yeah. Well, what do I know?
those are your boys.
My boys.
So yeah, man, let's get into some wrestling. We got a lot of shit to talk about as far as all the shit that took place this past weekend, and then with us recording a day late, we had a crazy episode of NXT last night. So let's start from the beginning, man. Saturday night's main event. We made our predictions last week. How'd you like the show? Did you like the show? Anything stand out to you?
I'll start off with, I don't know if I want to start off with what I didn't like or what I did like. Fuck it, I'll just mix it all up. I mean, it was like typical Saturday night main events from what they presented to us as they started them again, you know. They progressed some of the storylines this time, you know, with the Bronson Reed coming back. You know, I like that. Came out of nowhere, even though they still hadn't really explained why he's teaming up with Seth now, and he destroyed him back before he got hurt and whatnot. The John Cena and Truth was, you know, whatever. We saw an injury happen with the women's match. Still cage match was solid, and then, you know, a lot of schmaz in the main event, so it was okay.
WWE are just thieves. They charge these people to come out and pay all this money to come see a house show that's broadcast on TV. Yeah, Cody came back. Yeah, you got John Cena in one of his last. It was 4 fucking minutes. Now, I was entertained. I love Ron Cena. R-Truth. As a matter of fact, I predicted it well before all this. I said about a month ago, I think. I said when R-Truth hits John Cena with the 5-knuckle shuffle before Cena retires, the place is going to go crazy. And they did. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. It was 4 minutes long. And then Cena got the fuck out of there. This is his last time going to be in Tampa. And he literally just hit R-Truth with the belt. And no wasted motion, got the fuck out of the ring and left. Like, he didn't stand up on the thing to take pictures. Like, I get you're a heel. But dog, this is your last time in Tampa. You can't even pose with the belt?
I said nope.
Come on, man.
I said nope. I mean,
Jay,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Zelina Vega and Chelsea, they added that show on at the last minute because people were bitching that there were no women on the show. These motherfuckers forgot to even put women on the show. That's how little of a fuck they gave about Saturday night's main event. They looked up, said, "Oh shit, dog, we only got 4 matches. Ain't no women on the show." Throw Zelina and Chelsea on there.
And Chelsea ended up getting her nose busted open.
I feel like she's had her nose broken like 3 times in the past couple months. Or am I crazy? Or has she just been busted open a couple times lately?
I feel like we've seen her have color a few times over the past 4, 5, 6 months.
Has it all been with Zelina Vega?
I don't think so, man. I think it was somebody else last time. Maybe she's just wild in the ring.
You know, the Seth and Braun and Bronson Reed thing with Punk and Zayn, it was good. It told a little bit of a story. That was kind of a hot start, and I was like, oh, we starting out like this shit about to cook. No, bullshit. That shit went downhill quick. They got your money, and they left. And that's what they're going to do here in Atlanta, which we'll talk about later. I keep saying we'll talk about later, but it's a lot of shit we're going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I was just not impressed with Saturday night's main event. Cody comes back. No, obviously you got to watch SmackDown. Hopefully he'll explain why he was gone. And y'all know me, I can't stand Cody in suits, so him coming out there to fight in regular clothes, I was down for it. I did like the touch of him not technically cheating to help Jay. He never actually hit Logan Paul. Jay did everything to Logan Paul and still won. That was a small touch that a lot of people probably didn't even fucking see, but Cody never put his hands on Logan Paul. Logan tried to hit Cody with brass knucks, and he got fucking speared for it. So now you got Jay and Cody versus Cena and Logan Paul, which is stupid because Cena and Cody are on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
And Logan is on Raw. And Jay's on Raw. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really doesn't really make a lot of sense if you just think about it.
It doesn't have to make sense, EJ. Just pay WWE these ridiculous fucking ticket prices, and you get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit. That's what my daughter used to say when she was younger.
Man, it's a lot of things to cover, even with this Saturday night's main event, and I don't want to forget my thoughts, but what were your thoughts on the cage match?
I don't even think I watched it.
Oh, really? I thought it was pretty good.
I heard Jesse Ventura was losing his shit on Damian Priest.
I was just about to say that. He was like, how are you going to just walk out the cage? Like, does Jesse not know the rules? Like, he was focusing on that, hyper-focused on that for some reason.
Well, back in my day, you couldn't just walk out the cage. You had to climb out, or you had to pin the guy.
That's a good body impression, but that blue cage didn't even have a door, so maybe that's why he was confused.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't walk out the door, but I mean, that is kind of a new thing. But Jesse was out of wrestling for all those years. He was the governor of Minnesota and shit, you know? Like, also, shout out Jesse with the Malcolm X hat on.
I didn't even notice that little touch. Hey, shout out to him for that. But also,
any means necessary. See, he contradicts himself. You're wearing the man's hat that went by any means necessary, and that's how Drew won. And you're complaining about it.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be like, well, I guess, I mean, Damian, I guess, is supposed to be the face, so maybe he was just, leaning into it a little bit harder just because Damian was the face, but I may be looking too deep into it. But going back to the Cody thing, is it too soon for him? I feel like he was just feuding with Cena at Mania. Isn't it kind of soon for him to come back?
I don't know if it's soon for him to come back. It's definitely too soon for him to get back involved with Cena. Like, unless Cody's not going to be the guy that takes the belt off. Maybe Cena is going to retire with the fucking belt. Beat Cody's ass again at SummerSlam, and we just keep on going unless somebody's going to cash in on him. But that'd be a shitty way to take the belt from Cena, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take it from him with a cash in. But I don't know what they're trending. It seems like, they're running back to Cody a little bit too quick. But like we always say, or like I always say, I guess we got to see how it plays out. But going back to, you basically saying it's a glorified house show. Like, I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on, but what was the point of them even bringing back Saturday Night Main Event if they're going to not really do any like significant storylines with it. And like you said, what's the point of us watching if you're just gonna have everything be so predictable? Like, what was the point of even bringing this back if they're gonna do that?
Two things: money and counter programming with AEW.
But AEW didn't even have anything on Saturday, so we'll get to the counter program thing in a little bit. But
they didn't this Saturday.
They will.
But come July 12th,
they will.
They're going to be here in Atlanta for Saturday. Not only Saturday night's main event, they'll have NXT Great American Bash earlier that day in Atlanta also at Center Stage.
Yeah, we'll dig deep into that in a little bit. But going back to the money thing, is them promoting it as a Saturday night main event, you think making them more money, maybe with TV revenue?
TV and the tickets, because they don't really do house shows anymore. So having a Saturday night's main event is basically like another PLE that they can charge you like it's another PLE, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I didn't know the ticket prices because I'm like, they still do some. They're not doing as many, but they do some house shows still. Like, why don't they just not name it Saturday night main event? But like you said, if they call it that, I guess they could just jack the top prices up because you said it's like a faux PLE, which is it's nasty work, man. But if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what they are all fucking about, is the money, the dollar bill. And I'm getting kind of sick of it.
I mean, I feel like we kind of harp on this from week to week, but it seems like it is getting kind of worse by the week, so we kind of got to talk about it, right?
So since last week, we kind of buried the lead also. Since we've talked last week, they've decided they're not going to do WrestleMania in New Orleans. And the reasoning behind that, as reported by NOLA.com, is that they made too much money in Vegas. Now, they haven't officially said that they're going back to Vegas, but you can't just renege. Dog, they had The Rock, one of the biggest stars in the world, if not the biggest star, come out in New Orleans. Who did he come out to? Lil Wayne?
Maybe, probably. I can't remember.
I think he came out to Lil Wayne's Fireman, didn't he?
Maybe.
Talking all kind of shit. Go Tigers and all this shit, right? Like, saying everything New Orleans. Sounding like that fucking dude on the Ninja Turtles that was hunting them. We're gonna bring WrestleMania. We're gonna bring WrestleMania back to New Orleans next year. He did this shit right here, and a scroll fell down, and the logo came up. They was selling the shit on WWE Shop, EJ. WrestleMania 2026 t-shirts, New Orleans. Vegas came in and said, hey, dog, let me holler at you real fast. I know you said you're going to sell WrestleMania in New Orleans and shit, but I might throw a little extra change at you. Y'all saw how good the shit was last year, right? You already got the buildings. Like, you ain't even got to go, permits. Fuck a permit, dog. It's Vegas. There's ways around everything. Triple H got on the phone with the mayor of New Orleans, like,
about that.
Yeah. Well, we gonna give y'all a future WrestleMania, and we'll give y'all money in the bank next year. What?
Well, what's the show? The meme they got with like the Pawn Stars? Can't do that, but we'll give you this.
Best I can do is money in the bank. Can't do WrestleMania. Best I can do is money in the bank and a possible WrestleMania. How you gonna promise a motherfucker WrestleMania in a couple years when you still got to go to Indianapolis? They announced that shit. They supposed to have a Royal Rumble, a SummerSlam, and a WrestleMania in the next 3 years. They gonna pull out of that too?
I don't know, man. Something smells funny about this whole situation. I still don't like it. Something is afoot here. This is like WrestleMania is the equivalent of Super Bowl. You don't see the Super Bowl saying, "Oh, we're not going there next year. We're going back to." It's like them saying we're going back to New Orleans in 2026. I don't understand. Of course, it's the money, but we don't have a definitive answer, which is kind of bothering everybody.
They make so much money now, they don't have to give you an answer. Them motherfuckers I shouldn't say motherfuckers, wrestling media people sit in those press conferences asking Triple H all the hard questions. He dodges the fuck out of them too.
Man.
He'll sit there and use your name and tell you how great your podcast is and all that, butter you up, and avoid the fuck out of the question if he don't like it. And he'll sit there and talk for 5 minutes and won't answer the question. We ain't gonna never get the real answer to this. But we all know it's money.
Triple H has been sitting in those Dana White PR classes taking notes, but I digress. I mean, so like you said, I'm sure they get money from these cities to go put these shows on. So I'm sure Vegas threw out, a number and they're like, we can't turn that down. But on the other side of things, it's got to be some type of diminishing returns. Like we talk about that with AEW, them going back to the same cities every year, what they were doing with All Out, and they're finally starting to move things around. Like you see them going to Toronto for this year's All Out instead of Chicago. I mean, like you said, they probably look at the numbers and like, we could do this again, but I can't see a lot of people going back to Vegas. So maybe they're banking on people that didn't go this year going next year, because my black ass ain't going. I know Vegas is your city, so I think you said you were thinking about going.
Well, they had 50,000 people each night, and the Raiders Stadium doesn't fit more than 60?
Yeah, it's like in the 60s.
So it wasn't a sellout by any means, even though they claimed it was, right? You can only get so many people in there, but they used the excuse that it's Las Vegas, and for whatever reason, when you go to Vegas, everything costs a lot more money because it's Vegas, and you go to the bar, you get a drink, $32 for a fucking drink. Why is the drink so high? It's Vegas prices, man, and you're just supposed to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So now they can charge all this extra money for tickets, for merchandise, right? I've been to 3 WrestleManias now. I've never seen WWE have so many paid events that they send their wrestlers to. Normally they might have a couple. They had shit everywhere. They had pool parties. They had after parties at clubs every fucking night of the week they were charging for. WWE Access costs, or the World, whatever the hell you want to call it, it was like almost $90 just to get in there. And then you get in there and you just stand around because the lines are so fucking long. And they charge for everything. They made so much fucking money. I'm not even like mad that they're going back to Vegas. That doesn't bother. It's just the way they did it. Like people make plans for these. That's why the announcement of the next city the next year is always a big deal, because people then start making plans. I saw people on Twitter like, man, I put a fucking $200 deposit, non-refundable, down on my hotel room, and now these motherfuckers ain't even gonna be there.
Well, I am kind of mad that they're going back to Vegas because, I don't know, maybe it's the way my brain is wired. I like when things move around and getting different experiences, because I love Vegas, don't get me wrong, but it'd be dope if they went to a different city. Even what if they went to Atlanta? That'd be dope. They hadn't been there, and
I would fucking love it.
So yeah, so it's like
they owe us for that shitty fucking WrestleMania they gave us at 27.
Yeah, I like just having new experiences, and you're telling me to go back to the same city, and like you said, I know the price is gonna be high. I know what I'm getting into just because I was here a year before. Like, give people time to forget about stuff like that. You didn't give them no time to forget about that. And there's only one slim circumstance where I might think about going, and that's if you somehow get Dwayne and Roman, and that, if I did go, it'd only be one night for sure this time.
So, like you said a second ago about me, I love Vegas. Like, I go there a couple times a year. I gamble. I get free rooms. I've already got my rooms booked for the weekend that I think that it is, right? I'm not going to Vegas. I'm not going to actual WrestleMania. So this past time, there was shit that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do. And some of the stuff I did, I probably wouldn't do again just because of the logistics of everything. Well, now that I kind of know, when I was on my plane ride back, I was like, damn, man, it would have been fun to do this. Like, hopefully they come back to Vegas in a couple years before I'm like, fucking 50 years old in 7 years. Like, I want to be a 50-year-old flying around the country watching wrestling by myself. Like, hopefully they do it while I'm still young. So them doing it the following year, I'm like, that doesn't bother me. It's just the way it went. The way it went down. Like I said, you announced that it was going to be in one city, and then you pull out and you go back. And the fact that it's strictly for the money. As like I said, these tickets for WWE are outrageous right now. Ever since TKO took over, you called it, man. You said they're Disneyland, they're Walmart. Like, the little people don't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is all this fucking money they're trying to rake in. And sadly, people are paying it. Now, they're going to be here in Atlanta for 3 shows. As of right now, I'm not going. Tickets are on sale now. I would love to go to NXT that Saturday, but who knows how much they're going to charge for fucking PLE for NXT at center stage.
Oh, wow.
It's not even like, yeah, it's not even at State Farm. It's at center stage. You can fit 300 people in there.
Oh, you know, they're going to be charging a pretty penny.
In a building that might fucking fall apart while we're in there. I've been in there watching ROH in the summertime and the fucking AC didn't work. Me, Marty, my buddy Joey, we all over like 230 pounds each. We all sitting on top of each other, sweating like a motherfucker. And we started to turn on the AC chant.
You said it was you, Marty, and Joey?
Yeah.
Joey DeLorme?
No, my buddy Joey that lives here that I go watch.
Oh, yeah, I met Joey in at Revolution.
Yeah, at Revolution, yep. Me, him, and Marty all sitting at the top, just sweating like a motherfucker.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just like, they're going to be here in Atlanta, and I want to make this clear. I want the wrestlers to get as much money as they want, same way I do football and basketball and baseball players. There's a fucking gnat flying around here. It's pissing me off. So if you see me slapping myself in the face, EJ, just ignore it. But I'm torn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want Atlanta to show out well with tickets so they will bring a pay-per-view back here. But I also want Atlanta to not fucking buy tickets up front, the prices to go down, so they can fucking realize, like, we can't just keep raking people over the coals like this. And then not giving them a good product.
It's rare where you see a company in any type of business where they walk back prices. So it'd have to be like a drastic, you say you don't want to see this happen, but it would have to be a situation where they took a attendance hit and they might have to walk back the prices.
I mean, they got these tickets so fucking high. They don't need to be that. Why would the tickets be that high?
Shareholders, man. People are greedy.
So tickets went on sale today. I haven't checked how the sales are. That show is in what? A little over a month?
Mm-hmm.
If they sell a third of the tickets by then, I don't know. You think in like 2-3 weeks they're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? And then you'll start seeing the ticket prices come down. Kind of like what happened with WrestleMania. We were looking at tickets up until what, the Wednesday before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. For stadium shows, I haven't done like official research, but I feel like with stadium shows, you see that a little bit more than the arena shows where it's less people, because I was keeping my eye out on Backlash and the prices didn't really budge that much. It was right there in St. Louis, so I don't know, man.
I think 2 things are going to happen with WWE. One, the people are going to get tired of paying all this money for it. And 2, people are going to realize you're not really getting the bang for your buck that you were 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like, nothing's really happening at these like this past WrestleMania. What did we say? It didn't feel like WrestleMania while we were sitting there. It was just like it was almost like, all right, y'all, we got your money. You're in Vegas. It's up to you to have a good time. We're just going to throw this shit out there. Like, it didn't feel like WrestleMania. And it's not feeling like a big deal anymore. I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just very disenfranchised with the WWE live experience right now.
Yeah. What if they just keep pushing out like the regular to hardcore fans out, and it just becomes like almost like for the super elite to go, they still keep selling tickets and keep raising the prices up, but you just see people who don't even really know about the product. They just want to do it just to say they did it, and like almost like a Coachella type of situation. Like people don't go out there for the bands; they just go out there for a photo op. Like, what if it gets to that point with WWE?
I could see them doing that for like WrestleMania and SummerSlam, but you're talking like 2 to 3 shows a week. That's about 150 shows a year now. You're gonna be able to find celebrities in the elite in every fucking city that want to go to it now instead of the hardcore fans.
Maybe not necessarily celebrities, but more so like the elite people like your CEOs at banks, and they taking their families out, and hey, is that John Cena show in town? Let's go to that.
But there's only so many good seats. Like, you can't be the CEO of Bank of America and you sitting up in the 300 section.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna like that.
That's a good point, but I'm just being a little bit drastic. But I'm just saying, like, what if like people still keep going and they keep putting these prices up because the attendance seems well right now and the prices keep going up?
Does it seem well though?
Oh, I mean, we didn't talk about the NXT portion of it. We could get into that.
I mean, they weren't selling tickets this past week. They weren't selling tickets to NXT. They had to move it back to the Performance Center. And this is no indictment on NXT because honestly, I think NXT is the best brand in WWE right now.
Hot take. Hey, you might be onto something. Definitely with the women's, they always cooking with the women. Sometimes the men's,
that's a big thing.
Have a lot less to be desired. But go ahead.
Yeah, they got their hardcore people that come every week. Got Booker T on commentary acting a damn fool. NXT is just fun. It's a fun watch. It's an easy watch. I went to it. Was that earlier this year? I went to NXT. It was a lot of fun. They had stars showed up, but the NXT wrestlers themselves, they keep running people through there. Like, every time you think, man, they can't lose this person, they lose them and somebody else fucking comes up. Like, every fucking time. NXT is just... So it was no indictment on them, but it was like Saturday night's main event was here. NXT, the NXT show was there. Monday Night Raw was there. And then you turn around and put NXT there again on Tuesday night. Correct? Was SmackDown in Tampa or was it somewhere else?
That was in Greenville, I want to say.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It was in Greenville. So you got 4 shows that you were trying to run 4 days in a row in Tampa. Them people ain't got money for that shit again. It's not like it was... And I'm not like talking shit about Tampa, but like people don't have money, don't have time. I know Tampa's a big market and people are like, well, we couldn't go to that show, let's go to this one. But like eventually it's like, man, fuck that. Like it's a Sunday night, it's a Monday night, it's a Tuesday night. I gotta go to work in the morning.
So do you think it was more so of a oversaturation thing or like a money cost thing, or the ticket prices were too high?
Both. I think it was both.
What's the temperature like on as far as online people talking about that? Because I feel like that kind of slipped under the radar.
Yeah, they there's a term for it in radio and news where they do something on like Friday night so people can't talk about it. Jerry Jones does the shit a lot. They'll do it on a Friday night where the news can't report on it and people aren't really talking about it and try to slip it in. That's basically what WWE did. Like, they just quit promoting that NXT was going to be in Tampa, and before you know it, it was back in the fucking Performance Center.
So, it's, along with, they probably like just shot their shot with that because, like you said, that was a TV taping with NXT for Tuesday, and they tried to put it back in with a USF Bulls play, and that holds like 10,000 people, but like with weekly TV, NXT typically doesn't go into big arenas like that, so I don't even know what they were thinking when they tried to do that. with the TV taping. Of course, people want to come out to the PLE, but it's a TV taping, so I don't even know why they even tried that.
Too much chip on their dip.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much dip on their chip. Out in front of their skis, as they say.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just, we talked about this last week with one of the Office guys up there talking about they're not going to do these little towns anymore. It just feels like WWE is getting further and further away from the actual fan that built that company up to get them to be sold to TKO worth, $9 billion or however much it fucking sold for. And as much as we all talk about how much of a piece of shit Vince McMahon is, I don't think a lot of this shit, I don't think they pull out of New Orleans to go back to Vegas.
I mean, but it is Vince's fault that we're even in this situation. He's the one that sold it to TKO. He didn't have to do that.
He sold it because he's a pervert and he was getting out. If he wasn't getting in trouble, he'd still be running the shit.
But he still didn't have to sell it to TKO, even if he was forced to sell it. But
he didn't have to sell. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you can't control what somebody, like, if you sell me your headphones, you can't tell me I can't listen to rap music with them. You know what I mean? Like, they're my headphones, and I do whatever the fuck I want with them.
But he knew the devil he was selling it to when he sold it to TKO. He can't be surprised if, like, they make it into a corporation. And I think, like we talked about this before, wrestling is a different animal than it is with, like, a stick and ball, like NBA, NFL, even UFC. Yeah. Like, it always has its grassroots, and with being like a show you take your family out to, and it's scripted entertainment. So I think it's a mistake trying to run it like any other type of stick and ball organization.
I hope they get fucked in the ass.
Man, you went there. You went from 0 to 100 real quick.
I'm with Tony Khan. Let's get their ass, Tony. Tony said, I ain't gonna stand for this shit no more. I'm with you, Tony. I'm all elite. Look, I even got a shirt on now.
Rucker is now all elite. Where's the graphic when you need it? But I don't know, man. It might be this all starts to crumble. Not necessarily. WWE is always going to be around, but like this mold that the structure they're doing might crumble within the next year, or it might thrive and we might not even see it crumble ever. So I don't know. It's uncertain.
And it sucks too, right? Because if you told me to name like the top 20 wrestlers that I love right now that I can't wait to watch, probably 15 of them are WWE or WWE adjacent with NXT. You know? Like, my favorite wrestlers are with WWE, but I can't bring myself to paying money to go do that shit anymore. Like I said, I went to Mania this year. I felt like it was a money grab. It was, I don't feel like I got what I paid for with the stuff that I went to Mania for. Now, if it's in Vegas again next year, I'll go to Vegas. But I'm not going to WrestleMania unless, like you said, The Rock is wrestling. That's the only way they could get me to buy a ticket there. Or unless tickets just fucking dropped. And it was like $100 you can sit in the fucking 100 section. Alright, I'll go. But as far as paying regular price for WrestleMania right now, I have no plans for that. I have no plans to go to any of the 3 shows that are here in Atlanta. It's Evolution's gonna be here. Who fucking loves women's wrestling more than I do? I don't know anybody. But I'm not fucking shelling out the money that they want for it. You can't even buy a single ticket for Evolution. You got to buy a ticket for Saturday night's main event too, just like they had for WrestleMania. They're only selling combo tickets right now.
That's more money grab. That's crazy to me. Hey.
Is that how UFC does it when they do a fucking takeover of a city?
I mean, no. They only have like one show when they come in town. So
UFC was also TKO backtracking to New Orleans. One of the other things they told them was they'd bring a UFC event to New Orleans for pulling out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, apparently they're bringing whatever number to just coming up July. The end of July this year. I mean, but like we said, it's not a whole lot of crossover like people would think there is with UFC and WWE. Like, so what does that matter to a WWE fan that they're bringing UFC there?
Exactly. I don't give a fuck about UFC. I've been to one UFC fight my entire life. I used to watch it. I used to be big into it. I've been in wrestling my whole life. UFC came and went in my life. I might catch it on a Saturday. I'm not doing anything, and that channel just happens to be working. I honestly couldn't tell you who the champions are in UFC. Is John Jones still a champion?
Yeah, he is your heavyweight champion.
Technically, he's still a champion. When's the last time he fought?
November. He's still a champion. Not technically, he still is the champion.
He fought November? Wow. See, I didn't even know that. That was my guy. John Jones, Rampage Jackson, Anderson Silva. Those are my guys back in the day. And Misha Tate. I didn't really like anybody else. Once they all started going by the wayside, I kind of quit. Woodley, I was a Woodley fan for a while. I saw him win the title. That happened here in Atlanta. And the only reason I went to that is because I got those tickets for free.
It's dope. But yeah, man, I don't know what the thought of these people up in the boardroom with TKO. Obviously, it's money, but I don't know if they're looking at the bigger picture of things when it comes to these prices and whatnot.
All right, let's get off the negativity of that fucking WWE TKO fuckface company. I'm really not like I'm really not happy with the way things have turned like in the past year with them.
Yeah,
I mean, they've always been pieces of shit though. We've just always ignored it. But I guess now that it's like affecting my experience as a paying customer as opposed to somebody that's just watching it on TV, now it's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, but before we fully get off the topic, though, like this is related to what about this all this counter programming that they're doing?
That's the other thing. It's like, man, leave AEW alone. What they do to you? Like, enough is enough. If you claim you're not threatened by them, why do you keep doing it?
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, of course, WWE is the number one wrestling company. And I like the fact that if you got competition, man, fuck them. We're going to step on all of your product. But then in the same vein, don't act like they don't exist and you're above even mentioning them. Like, say it with your chest. Be like, yeah, that, even though we're bigger than them, it's still a competition. It's still another wrestling company. So we're going to step on this shit. But it just kind of bothered me that they act like, you know, they're above even mentioning them and like it doesn't even bother them. And then you go and do all this quantum programming.
EJ, what does AEW stand for? What are the first two letters in AEW? AE, what does that stand for?
All Elite.
You want to know what the ticket code for was yesterday for WWE?
All Elite?
To get pre-sale? To get the pre-sale? It was all WWE.
See, it's petty. It's petty, man.
I shit you not. I'm going to see if I can find the fucking screenshot that I took. I shit you not. It was all WWE. Damn, did I delete it? I think I might delete it. Or I forwarded it to my boy Joey. But yeah, in order to get in, you had to type in all WWE. And I thought, that's weird. And then out of nowhere, it hit me. And I was riding around. I was like, wait, all Elite, all WWE on the fucking day that All In is happening. Come on, man. Leave these people alone. They're already... They got enough going on. Like, leave them alone. Just a bully.
Like I said, it's just the thing about it. Like I said, of course you're gonna, you know, take it to your competition, but then like, it's just weird that in the same vein they act like they don't exist. But we clearly see that y'all are counter programming, and with the All In thing, they having Saturday Night Main Event on that same day, right? And NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the NXT side of the thing is petty because All In purposefully were going on early in the day. Kind of, they were keeping that time slot. You know how they were in London. They were doing it earlier. They were keeping that time slot, and that was, I don't know if it was they knew Saturday Night Main Event was going to be on the same day. That's why they kept the time. But now they got NXT running, so that's even so like they're gonna definitely be clashing with the NXT show. Like why is WWE doing NXT and Main Event on the same day, man? That's ridiculous.
Wait, so All In's gonna be earlier in the day? I didn't know that. I thought it was gonna be like 8:00 p.m.
Nah, it's gonna be earlier in the day.
It's gonna be hot as fuck. It's gonna be in Texas.
Yeah, but it's indoors.
baseball stadium.
Still an indoor stadium.
The Rangers are closed in. I
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. You went to WrestleMania. You didn't see the Rangers stadium right next to.
I mean, I saw the outside of it. I didn't see the fucking roof.
Yeah,
I wasn't in there.
yeah. It's closed, so you don't have to worry about the heat.
And you gotta worry about that heat getting through Texas, though, buddy. Whew, that's gonna be a hot one. Texas heat is hot. Like, we're going to Vegas in a couple weeks for the Cavino and Rich thing, and people are like, "Oh, it's gonna be 102 degrees." I'm like, 102 in Vegas ain't 102 in Georgia, but 102 in Georgia definitely ain't 102 in Texas.
I've been to Texas in the summer. I don't know, man. That Vegas desert heat gets to me for some reason. Maybe because I grew up in the humidity and I'm kind of got used to it.
I think people get hot in Vegas just because they're always drunk. Like, if you were hydrated, I don't think you'd be.
Nah, my first Vegas trip ever, I touched down and I felt like just that desert heat with no type of wind. I'm like, this shit is different.
It never really bothers me. You know what it does? It dries me out. Like, my nose gets really dry on the inside for like a couple days after I leave there. That fucks with me, and my allergies will fuck with me here and there. But the heat, I mean, besides like drinking too much and not wanting to walk around, I don't really mind the heat in Vegas. But anyway, we're way off fucking, way off topic. What were we talking about?
Just the counter programming.
Yeah, I think AEW should start doing counter programming.
I mean, how would that really benefit them, though?
Put something on during WrestleMania. Fuck them. That's how Clash of the Champions started.
Oh, they were doing it same weekend as WrestleMania?
Was it WrestleMania or was it Survivor? I can't remember. But that's how Clash of the Champions started. It's fine. Y'all want to do your pay-per-view? We'll put this shit on free TV. Don't even make a pay-per-view out of it. Put it on fucking Max.
Yeah.
Just do a fucking, name it, Mania Wrestle or something like that, just to fuck with them. And put like the biggest card on. Like, put, what's that shit called? Forbidden Door. Move Forbidden Door to WrestleMania weekend. And put that shit on as the same day as WrestleMania. Get all your dream matches out of the way.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Gloves are off, so let's go.
Yeah, come on, Tony, fight back. Shit.
You heard that, Tony? Fight back.
Speaking of my dog Tony Khan, what a great pay-per-view they had this weekend. A little long, but I'm not even gonna complain, because I can't on one hand say WWE is robbing us with these shit ass pay-per-views, only 5 matches, John Cena's wrestling for 4 minutes, and then turn around and say Tony Khan gave us way too much wrestling for what we paid. So you know what? I appreciate Tony Khan more, because you get more wrestling per buck. If you pay $500 for a ticket to AEW or to WWE, you're going to get way more wrestling for that $500 in AEW. So I'm done complaining about the length of it. We should add more matches. Fuck it.
Of course, it's an AEW pay-per-view, so it's always a marathon. But looking at it, I think they only had 9 matches. Only 9 matches. I'm doing my air quotes for the people that are listening. But I think if they only really had to cut 1 match, you know why they put it on there? They wanted to give people a chance to breathe. The cool down match, the Adam Cole.
We don't need a chance to breathe. Motherfucker, we falling asleep.
Yeah,
but 45. Don't nobody want to see the damn Paradigm or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, the Paradigm. But they could have took that match off, and like if you would have put like a dope ass video package right after Anarchy in the Arena to build up for it, they would have still got up for that Ospreay and Hangman match. They didn't need a cool down, so they could have scrapped the Paragon, and then I wouldn't have been too mad at the length. But all in all, man, I've been seeing just positive feedback on the pay-per-view, and I had a damn fun time watching it, man. It was good shit.
Yeah. Good house, lively crowd. Mercedes kicked it off with a win over Jamie Hayter. which I thought was a really good match. I thought Jamie Hayter almost broke her neck on that ending sequence.
What's in this sequence?
When she went for the Haterade and Mercedes tied her up and rolled her up. When Mercedes rolled her over, Jamie Hayter landed on her head. I was like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily, she popped right back up. And I want to give Mercedes her just due. But I do want to say this. That Jamie Hayter we saw last week, that's the fucking Jamie Hayter that I've been wanting to come back.
And like we always kind of, hedge the expectations. They got to follow up with her now. I'm kind of scared now that she lost. Like, what are they going to do with her next? I mean, but we still got the, the little nugget of Mercedes still being the TBS champion. So is she going to drop the belt on the way to All In? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm glad that the handcuffs got taken off of Jamie Hayter. Or maybe she just needed to work with somebody as good as Mercedes is. But speaking of Mercedes, I was glad that Taz and even Excalibur, who I don't give a lot of credit, they pointed out, like, you can say what you want about Mercedes, but she's tough as shit. She kicks out of everything.
Hey, it's the CEO, man. I mean, somebody that I was listening to is making a case for her being like the greatest woman wrestler of all time. And I was thinking about, like, so many great women have came along, but I'm like, I mean, if you really sit back and think of it, I mean, she makes a good case. I know you're a Mickey fan. I know you like Becky, but I mean,
Mercedes is my top 3 of women.
Yeah, from
my favorite. I've said on here before, I think she's the best women's wrestler going today.
But I'm saying, what about, like, of all time? That's kind of lofty.
It's just, it's. I know she's been around for a while, but she's had so much time off too. And her WWE run, as great as it was, wasn't the best. Like, she lost a lot. But when it depends on how you quantify greatest of all time. Are you just talking about in ring? Or you talk? She's definitely not as box office as Becky was when Becky was at her peak.
So the person that I heard say, he didn't specify it to in ring, so that's why I gotta kind of pump the brakes, because we all know she's not the best promo, especially when she's a babyface. Right. Especially when she's a babyface, she's better when she's a heel, but still, like, I think that's how you gotta look at it from an overall perspective, and that's why you gotta put Becky on the short list as far as in ring and character work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd honestly have to sit down and think about that if we came up with a way to quantify, like, what would consist of the best of all time. And then you got to think, like, all time predates us, right? Like, I wasn't around for a lot of the shit. So it's like, if you said the modern era, like, since 95, all right, I could fuck with that. Like, I think I'm well versed in women's wrestling in North America also. Like, you got to quantify that, because half these fucking Japanese and Mexican companies and shit like that, I don't watch those. Like, that's where Io Sky came from. And for my money, Io Sky's probably in the top 3 of best in-ring wrestlers in North America right now.
Yeah, but, like you said, modern. Because the same thing with, like, people don't really put Bruno San Martin in the conversation the same way you wouldn't put, like...
He was trash.
I would say, but the same way you wouldn't, like, think of, like, Fabulous Moolah or Mae Young or Mildred Burke and stuff like that.
Right, Bruno was over because he was over, but, like, Bruno couldn't wrestle.
I mean, I haven't really went back and watched those matches, so I'm not going to disrespect the legend like that.
Wasn't that good. Everybody that talks about how great Ric Flair is, go back and watch Ric Flair.
Oh, man.
Ric Flair wasn't that good.
I mean, he put some bangers on, man. Especially in that era.
With who?
Ricky Steamboat.
Okay.
Sting.
Okay.
Even used to drag, like, Luger to good matches.
Nah, I'm not going to let you do that. Luger was that guy, too. Luger could go. But Flair's whole thing was, I'm going to go 60 minutes and I'm going to run from you the whole time. I could watch a Sting versus Ric Flair match. You could pick one. You could put it on, and I could call the whole fucking match for you. Flair had a formula. He was good at his formula. I shouldn't say he wasn't good. That was a bit much. But I don't think Flair's the greatest fucking in-ring wrestler of all time. I'd take Kurt Angle over Flair in a fucking heartbeat.
Well, I didn't say all that, but generations build off of past generations. For that generation, you had like the Hogans who were just flexing, and Flair actually went in there and did some work. So of course I picked Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, even Shawn Michaels over Ric Flair as far as like in ring. So it's nature.
So it's all subjective.
Yeah.
So if whoever you were listening to said Mercedes is the best, who am I to argue?
Yeah, but
she is. She's definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a good way to kick off the pay-per-view.
We're not gonna get into every fucking match on this pay-per-view, but Mercedes won the Owen Hart tournament, so she'll go on to face Toni Storm. Well, she'll go on to face Toni Storm, who had a good match against Mina Shirakawa. Toni Storm's got to be up there for best women's wrestler in the world right now. Character work, mic work, in ring, look, aura, as the kids say. Like, she's got all of it.
Yeah. Definitely put her on a short list of best women in the world.
Defeated Mina Shirakawa, so now Toni and Mercedes are on a collision course right to All In. Did you watch the buy-in?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I watched the matches on there.
Great women's tag team match, I thought, between Harley Cameron, Anna Jay, and Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford.
It's time to bring those women's belts in, man. Like, I don't know what the holdup is.
Yeah, I mean, go get the fucking Iconics.
Yeah.
Bring in fucking Gigi Dolan and let her team with Isla Dawn. That'd be my favorite team off the bat right there.
Bring in Blair Davenport and Jamie Hayter. Give Hayter to do something in the meantime.
Fucking... They got women. You got all the fucking women in ROH still, and like they got plenty of people. So I'm team EJ on this one. Just get some fucking. What do we need another? Would they have a 6-man ROH title and now a fucking a trios title and they got the
and they have it right now. They're having a women's pure tournament for a new ROH women's. I guess ROH maybe got the juice. Maybe people are watching it we don't know about because they're doing their tournament.
They watching the goddamn ROH.
The crowd. They're having a tournament. The crown ROH Women's Pure Champion. We were all clamoring.
You know,
for
when
that
I watch ROH, when I get on Instagram and Red Velvet says she wrestles on ROH, I'll go back and watch it. I don't know anybody else on ROH besides Queen Aminata and Red Velvet. Athena. I like Athena. I don't want to besmirch the good name of our forever champion.
Once a month, I'll go on the wrestling site that we go to, and I'll see RH on there. I'll click on it, and then if I'll scroll through it just to see what's going on. I don't watch the full episode, and if it's a match that I might be interested in, I might watch it. Like I said, I'll do that like once a month or so.
Dustin Rhodes in 2025 got 2 belts in ROH. That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, them not having a TV deal is kind of hurting them. I thought it was going to be like a slam dunk on them having like a little 90-minute show on True TV, but guess the higher ups weren't going for it.
Before we get to the main event, is there anything in between the opening match, Toni Storm and Mina, that you want to cover that happened at Double or Nothing?
Oh no, we'd be remiss without talking about Anarchy in the Arena.
Let the body hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. That was pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie. Did I text you or did I put it on Discord? I'm just not a fan of the staple gun, man. That shit makes my skin crawl.
It's starting to become a super kick of weapons. I feel like they've been kind of overdoing it, but it doesn't bother me like that.
When your girl grabbed Swerve's tongue and like put it on there, I was like, no thing. And then the thumbtacks in somebody's mouth, like that's getting old too, man. Like eventually somebody's gonna swallow one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, hopefully they know, they're pros. But I thought it was dope. They were trying to shoot Powerhouse with the staple gun. He like, you shoot me with this little shit, boy. I think even the announcer
shot by a real gun,
yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah, that was it. The announcers pointed out that he got shot for real. So I thought that was dope. But yeah, overall, man, I thought it was a really fun fucking match. Every year, like, you think how they gonna top this, and I know coming into this, you're like, oh, Anarchy in the Arena, but it was a good time, and I like how they put women in it this time too. So
yeah, I did. I was my feed kind of lost or whatever. And when I turned it back, I texted you. I was like, "Where the fuck is Willow?" And you said she's like tied to the ring post through her ear. I was like, through her ear. And right when you said that, they zoomed in on it. I was like, oh.
yeah, because she's got those gauges, those big ass gauges. And, hey, see, they thinking of new shit, man. That's disgusting, but
Probably doesn't even hurt her, like, because I remember Randy Orton took a screwdriver through Jeff Hardy's gauges in like a Hell in a Cell match they were having, and he started fucking turning it around, and Hardy's ear was just going around the fucking screwdriver. I was like, oh my god. Probably didn't hurt at all, but it just looked awful. But yeah, you're right. They did get the women in there. I enjoyed that. You brought him up, Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought he looked like a fucking star this match. He's picked up that mantelpiece Ron Simmons left, and he's got the best fucking spine buster in the game right now.
Yeah. Spine on the pine, or pine on the spine, however you say it.
I just wish my boy Hobbs is a big motherfucker. He's got wrestling boots, man. Them Tims ain't going. They can't carry all that fucking muscle. I feel like he's about to fall down every time he does something.
He does wrestling Tim. I mean, that's crazy.
Little ones.
And he wears like a singlet, so it seems like they don't really even match, really.
I think he was wrestling in Tim's in this one just because it was Anarchy in the Arena, like.
Oh yeah, he had a shirt on, the Big Black and Powerful or something, or Black and Jack, Big Black and Jack. Him and Willow had
Yeah, and then when Willow ripped hers off, everybody like popped for it.
Yeah, man, it was a fun time, and I didn't expect Swerve. I thought they were gonna have the Death Riders win, but Team Swerve was able to pull it off. So, and I thought it was fun, man.
Yeah, really good match. The main event: Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. Hangman gets the win, and this match felt like it was about an hour long.
You felt it was long?
Yeah, I thought it was. I'm not saying I felt like it was long, like I was waiting on it to be over. I just felt I've watched it twice now, and I still haven't looked at how long it was. But I was on the elliptical for 45 minutes, and that match was fucking the whole time almost. They did have that long intro too, where the little entrance packages they had, which I really liked those. Having the voiceovers come through the loudspeakers before the music came on, I thought that was dope. But another really good match. I picked Hangman, didn't I?
I think you might have picked Ospreay. I have to go back and listen.
You picked Ospreay.
What? I didn't pick Ospreay. I picked Hangman. Cause I said you can hold off on Ospreay till next year and do it in Wembley. I think you even fought me back on that. So that's what I'm saying. You may have picked Ospreay, but I definitely picked Hangman.
I remember fighting you back on the Ospreay thing, but I felt like Hangman's got to be the one to beat him. I don't know who I picked, but I know I felt like Hangman should have won, and he did. I was cheering for Hangman, even though I love Ospreay. I just feel like Hangman's got a better story to go fight Moxley with, and it's 8:20 right now. Who knows what's actually happening on the AEW TV? They could be out there throwing hands at this very second.
Yeah, and I think the right man won, and we all complain about how sometimes, a good bit in the past, Tony Khan liked to rush things, and seems like he's taking his time and, letting things play out. Like, he could have pulled the trigger and had Ospreay win and rush him to All In, but, letting Hangman, he's the main character, so to speak. So I thought it was a really good match, and I like how people talk about like the psychology with AEW. They didn't go 0 to 100. They built up, and it kind of had like a slower start, and the match built up, it snowballed and picked up, and I like that part of the match as well, or that aspect of the match.
I feel like in the atmosphere of wrestling right now, aesthetically, WWE looks like. So what I'm about to say, it doesn't look like that when you first take a look at it. But as a fan that's watching, I feel like WWE is about to kind of take a step back, and I feel like AEW's got forward momentum. Like AEW's last like 3 or 4 months has been just really good TV and wrestling. And I think the crowds are starting to come back to AEW. They're not huge crowds, but they're growing. And I feel like the negativity towards AEW, there ain't a lot you can say about it. Like, you might have a couple technical things here and there. Their storylines are making sense now. They're taking their time with story. How long has this Hurt Syndicate shit been going on with MJF? Like 2-3 months. Where a couple years ago, it probably would have lasted 4 weeks, 6 at the most. But this is just me talking on how I feel about it. I feel like AEW's got positive momentum now, and WWE's kind of they've got some PR shit going on with the fans since WrestleMania weekend that, I don't know. I think AEW should just stay in their fucking lane, leave WWE alone, and just keep fucking doing what you're doing.
And I agree with you on what you just said. And I think it's dope when you have two companies that are thriving. So even though you said WWE, they don't have the best PR right now and kind of rubbing people the wrong way, I think it would be dope if AEW could close the gap somewhat. Like we said, nobody's gonna ever match WWE, but
right.
If you look at it from an objective standpoint, the past 2-3 months, like, AEW's been putting on some good product. But like you still have, like, I see the temperature online. You still have these tribalists. You have tribalists that they don't want to see AEW do it good at all, so they like kind of brush it off to the side and act like they're not even putting on good stuff right now. But then you still have the people that aren't really tribalists, but AEW may have rubbed them the wrong way with the CM Punk, and they kind of timid to come back and try to give it a second chance. So I think that might be the only stumble with, kind of gaining that momentum back all the way. But you just got to just keep doing what you're doing and see how the chips fall, so to speak.
Right. But yeah, Double or Nothing was, I feel like we say this almost every AEW pay. That might have been their best pay-per-view of the year. Yeah. We just keep fucking saying that. But I agree with you, man. I had fun watching Double or Nothing.
Yeah, what a long wrestling weekend. I watched NXT. I watched the Trick match on the.
We haven't even got to NXT yet.
Yeah.
Still got to talk about that.
Yeah. I was kind of trying to segue a little bit, but I had Double or Nothing on the big screen, and I had NXT on the tablet, but I only watched the main event on the tablet because I couldn't pay attention to both at the same time because I had a feeling it was going to happen, so I'm like, I got to watch this one live.
I was watching the Knicks game Sunday night. I didn't watch either one of them live.
Oh, damn. Yeah. That's why I didn't see that come back, because I was watching wrestling.
Yeah. I watched the Knicks game, and then I started NXT before it got too late, and then I woke up Monday morning and watched Revolution and finished NXT. NXT was really good too. Like I said, NXT is probably the better brand right now in WWE. They started out cooking with fucking Kalani and Rucker. What a fucking match that was. I didn't really like Kalani Jordan that much, man, but this little heel turn she's got with the attitude, like, I wasn't a fan of her being the first NXT North American champion, but I don't know, man. Something about her, she's growing on me.
Yeah, Definitely good that she got a change of attitude. I want to see them go fully onto it because they're kind of like teetering on like the tweener, and they don't want to put her full out heel. Just make her a full out heel and just start wrecking shop. So but like you said, to kick the show off with those two, I thought it was tremendous. They're putting their chips behind Sol Ruka. I'm curious to see where they want to go with her as far as like. I don't think she's close to being on the main roster just because of the timing, and it seems like they're putting other people up there, which we'll get into. But as far as like athleticism, she has it, and it seems like they like kind of testing their toe in the water. She's the speed champion, isn't she?
Oh, Ruka, yeah, she was. She's got 2 belts. I don't really. I mean, unless you want to talk about the family, I don't really care about that.
Are they writing Tony off? Is he maybe going up because they continued it yesterday? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Obafemi destroyed Miles Bourne. It was a more competitive match than I thought it would be, but at the end, like we kind of knew what was gonna happen. Jordan Grace versus Stephanie Vakir. We talked about it before when Stephanie and Julia got there. I was like, it's something about Stephanie that, like, I knew Julia had the cachet behind her name, but something about. We talked about Mercedes. I talked about Io Sky. I think you got to put Stephanie Vakir up there too right now.
Yeah, especially with the in-ring, there's no denying it. And even though like she's still learning English, but she still got that aura around her in the Riz where fans just love her. So you got to put her in that conversation.
She gets the big win over Jordan Grace with the spinal tap or the spiral tap, whatever it's called. Really good match. I love the Jordan Grace throwing her into the announce table and then looking at Booker T like, you ain't gonna say nothing. So that was fun. Booker's like, what the hell? What she got a problem with me for? And the crowd starts chanting. Booker's fucking hilarious on NXT commentary, man. He just... I have a random question. I was thinking about this when I was watching Stephanie and Jordan Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like Corey Graves just kind of like, he just kind of mailing it in? Like, I felt like Vic Joseph kept having to be like, what do you think, Corey? Because I would forget Corey Graves was even commentating.
I mean, he might not be doing it consciously. It might be subconscious. He basically got demoted. So can you blame the guy?
Yeah.
Well,
you got demoted. Fucking throwing a hissy fit ain't gonna get you back on where you want to be.
It'd be different if it was like, oh, he's trash, so he deserved to get demoted. But got demoted for a guy who just has a popular podcast who's kind of fucking annoying if you really think about it.
Really fucking annoying.
So, I mean, you got to still, like you said, put your big boy pants on and go to work. But, I mean, I feel some type of way if I was in this position, though.
Yeah. The big news of the day from NXT, though, is we now have a new TNA. Yes. I said the big news from NXT is we have a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, a man by the name of Trick Williams, the same title that Sting held, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Kenny Omega, Rob Van Dam, Bobby Lashley.
Your boy Bully Ray.
And now Trick Williams is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I dig it. I like it. I love that he's a heel. But they kind of fucked your boy Joe Hendry over though.
In what aspect?
Oh yeah, man, come to the Rumble. Roman fucks him up. Oh yeah, man, come fight at WrestleMania. Randy Orton fucks him up. Yeah, man, just put the title on the line on the NXT show. Loses the fucking title. Joe Hendry been taking L's every time he come to WWE. And the scary thing about that is, in my eyes, Joe Hendry is just we talk about it all the time. He's just the theme song. He's just a little fucking like, I don't really like Joe Hendry in the ring. I don't really like him on the mic.
Is that it? I thought you was gonna follow up to that.
I think Joe Hendry's. I think he's got a lot of people fooled. Like they're so in awe about his entrance, and they want to sing along to the song, and you think you like him, but when the bell rings, he's just not that guy.
It's all smoke and mirrors when it comes to Joe Hendry. I mean, people like him, so who am I to judge or say anything about that? I thought it was a little fun gimmick. I didn't see him do it in ROH, so my introduction was 2-3 years when he came to TNA and was starting to do the vignettes. I'm like, oh, this might work, but within a vacuum and on the surface level, like you, I love it that they mix it up. Like, you weren't expecting Trick to win, and now he's your new TNA champion. But looking at the grand scheme of things, and this is something that we talked about maybe a few months ago, with this TNA and WWE partnership, how's TNA really benefiting from this?
They're going to end up with a TV deal.
Okay, if that happens, then I agree with you. But
yeah,
so far it's been pretty fucking one-sided. WWE is sending all of their talent, their green talent over there to get reps, so they're benefiting off of that. Your former NXT champion has the TNA belt and benefiting off of that as well. I mean, TNA sending Jeff Hardy over there. How's that benefiting TNA? That's giving like the fans the nostalgia of this feeling Jeff Hardy and all of these nostalgia acts. So how that's not really benefiting TNA. So it's been pretty one sided. Okay, so Joe Hendry got to look at WrestleMania. So from what we've seen, they've been having their attendance up since they changed the name back. So it's not because the partnership is doing that. And you say, okay, so I'm seeing Joe Hendry on WrestleMania. I might check out the Impact show. But from what I'm seeing, like their ratings haven't really been skyrocketing, since giving that exposure. So this is not really benefiting TNA. It's benefiting Joe Hendry. He's getting a bigger look for when he finally goes out the door and signs that WWE champion contract. So
he's about to do exactly what Jordan Grace did.
Yeah, so it's benefiting Joe Hendry. It's not really benefiting TNA. So I'm with you. If they get a TV deal out of this, then maybe. But this is not benefiting TNA at all so far.
I do feel like their attendance, like they had a packed house for that pay-per-view this week.
Yeah, but like I said, the name change really started building momentum before they were filling out shows before they announced this partnership.
I don't think it had anything to do with the name change. I think it had something to do with the Hardy Boys being there.
Either way, like the attendance, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, if you pick one of your favorite nostalgia wrestlers that are still wrestling right now, like say you grew up and you loved Bobby Lashley, right? Now Lashley's wrestling for AEW. Would you rather he was wrestling for WWE where you'd have to pay $300 to sit next to Sting? Or would you rather he was in AEW where you could pay $150 and you could fucking high five him when he's coming to the ring? Like, I think that's how people are feeling with the Hardys now that they're in TNA. Like, oh shit, I get to go see the Hardys and it's in a smaller venue and I can be more interactive. Like, fuck yeah, let me go see them. They're on their last leg. Like if the John Cena retirement tour was to go through TNA, fucking people would love that.
Okay,
it's only going to be 5,000 people here. So I think that helped their attendance go up more than a name change.
Well, I agree with you. Like, that would be a beneficial TNA if they were sending like John Cena there, but they signed the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys are signed to TNA, so how's that partnership benefiting TNA in that regard?
I was just thinking about the attendance. I think the attendance is doing better. But yeah, the partnership, it's TNA's wrestlers that come on NXT are being seen by more people than what they would be on TNA shows. Mm-hmm. So Mike Santana now, he got seen by a couple million people last night on TNA, as opposed to maybe 100,000 on whatever fucking, what are they on, the new TNN?
Access. Access.
Isn't that ran by UFC?
Nah,
I know that's the Dallas Mavericks owner.
yeah, yeah, Mark Cuban and his guys. So that's the only thing I'm worried about them even getting a new TV deals because Access owns TNA. So why would they want to move it off to their own platform?
Do they?
Yeah, they own it. That's like why I
They
think
were
that's
owned by Anthem.
Yeah, I mean Anthem owns Access and TNA. So
But I mean, you got to be smarter though, right? Like, yeah, you're gonna move it off of your network, but now somebody's gonna pay you for it, and you're gonna get more exposure. You can keep it on your network if you want to, but if somebody's gonna pay you, and you're gonna be in 5 million homes now instead of 600,000, like that makes more sense to me. But Trick Williams is your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, so ratings should go through the roof.
shout out
And
Trick
before we
Willie.
get out of here, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what happened on NXT last night.
So in a vacuum, you said you hated it.
Yeah,
How come?
it wasn't in a vacuum. It's just I hated it. I didn't like Ricky Saints losing the North American title. He just got it. Then he got taken out, and this is a smaller scale of what happened at WrestleMania, but when Sting wrestled Triple H, he loses the match to Triple H, right? Triple H is in a war with one of the legends. An hour later on the same show on WrestleMania, he's out there with a fucking suit on with Stephanie McMahon in the middle of the ring, like nothing ever happened. And that's how Ethan Page was. Ethan Page Ricky Saints got taken to the fucking hospital, and 2 commercial breaks later, Ethan Page is in the ring with a fucking suit on, celebrating, taking on his next challengers already. Like, could y'all have fucking made Ricky Saints look more of a fucking simp than what they did last night?
So you were not a fan of more so the results because when you said that in the chat, I'm like, this must be a terrible episode as fuck. I'm like, this episode ain't bad at all. Like, what's Rucker talking about? But I'm guessing that the results you weren't happy with.
And then for JC Jane to be... NXT has so much star power when it comes to the women's wrestlers. We just talked about Stephanie Vaquer is probably one of the top 2-3 women wrestlers going in North America right now. She just beat Jordan Grace. She beat Julia. She's on Monday Night Raw all the time wrestling them, right? Her and Io Sky had a great match. I don't like saying this about wrestlers a lot, but JC Jane sucks.
Oh, man. So this one, I don't know how I avoided spoilers because I was texting you. I just watched it this morning, like,
Because nobody cared. That's how you avoided spoilers. It ain't like it was all over. Nobody gave a fuck. They were more mad at Stephanie. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you.
Hey, no, you have a solid point. So I don't mind you ranting a little bit, but I avoided spoilers and like this genuinely shocked me. I'm like, oh shit, because I thought it was just gonna be like a run-of-the-mill defense by Stephanie and she moved on to the next one, but this genuinely shocked me. And looking at the bigger picture of things, this is what we asked for. We asked for TKO and these guys not to be so predictable, and they gave you unpredictability as far as title changes, so I'm not mad looking at it from the grand scheme of things. But my gripe is who they put the belts on, and I hate to be negative, but let's go back to All Ego Ethan Page. So the guy could talk, he looks good, he can wrestle, but I don't know, man. It's something missing with him. I don't know. It's because I got introduced to him as a tag team guy with the North, and I just feel like that's his ceiling as far as main wrestler. Him being like in a tag team, I just don't see it with the guy like that. Because like I said, I don't know why. Like I said, he could talk, he could wrestle, but I don't know, man. And then even with the fans, he's not really connecting with the fans like that from what I've seen so far. Like he's not really getting that much of a response as far as like heat goes. So like that's where my disconnect. And then to take it off Ricky like that, like you said, and who they put it on, like these are like equals. Now they put it on like a young guy trying to elevate him. Like Paige is older than Ricky, so I didn't get that. And I don't know. But as far as, like you said, the JC Jane thing, she's always been like the second follower in her own groups, including this one with Toxic Attraction. She was always the the third
wheel,
the third wheel, and then with this one with Fatal Influence, I mean, if you like, even Jasmine Nix got more juice than her, and Jasmine Nix got way less experience. So, like, what are they doing? Doing this just to shock people? I don't understand this move.
Then they're all over social media talking about she's been in NXT for 5 years. There's a reason she's been in NXT for 5 years.
It's because she's mid. I mean, like you said, I don't like to be negative, but like, what are they doing?
She's not good. She doesn't elicit any kind of reaction when she's out there. She screams when she talks. Her in-ring isn't good. Again, I don't mean to sit here and pick her apart, but you have her take the title off of Stephanie Vaquer, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, when they could have just put the title on Jordan Grace on Sunday.
Or like if you had
it's right there.
like the meme, like was that LeBron did the meme.
Will Smith. Oh yeah, LeBron too.
And the cabbie, the YouTube dude cabbie with the yeah, man, like you could have did it at the NXT pay-per-view, or like even if you wanted to do it in that little vortex, like why wouldn't you put it on Fallon instead of like?
Thank you. That was my and then like when I saw that match was made, like you were saying, you thought it was just gonna be a little run in the mill. I honestly thought this is gonna be the end of Fatal Influence because they've been bitching at each other for the longest, and then for Fallon to help her, I'm like, and I like Fallon, but man.
When she did that little kick, I'm like, they're not really gonna do this, are they? And I'm like, she's gonna kick out, and she didn't kick out. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Why?
Yeah, it's she should go back to Ava and be like, "Can I have my North American title back now? I didn't really want to give it up. Like y'all made me,
yeah.
But now that I don't have this, but yeah, I don't know, man. And I know people are trying to be positive, like NXT is developmental, so maybe that's why Jace she's had 5 years to develop.
Yeah,
it ain't happened.
This ain't the 2.0 era when they were like experimenting. You know, they gave Braun the title really early and whatnot. Like,
right?
Stephanie could go, and before her, Julia could go, and Roxy, she could go.
Right? Yeah, Roxy. Like, this is such a far step back. And when they first put the title on Mandy Rose, I was like, I don't know about this. Even Mandy fucking started coming around. It was like another version of Nikki Bella, or even Trish. Right? Like, she started coming around, but like Jason.
Yeah,
that's all I got no.
What do you? I
don't want to be rude and keep talking bad about the lady. I'm sure she's a delight in real life, but when she's on my screen, I change the channel, and that's not what your world champion should be doing.
What would you put this like as far as like a person like Indy winning it? Would you put that on the same level as this?
Indy was over. Indy could go. I like when Indy won. She just didn't have a run with it. It's like David Arquette winning the WCW belt.
Well, now that was super egregious, but I get what you're saying.
This is like Eric Young winning the TNA title.
Yeah, I could see it.
Or Chris Sabin.
Yeah, something on more of that level. Yeah, man. I mean, you think this is just
everybody catching strays tonight? Chris Sabin, like, the fuck did I do?
Yeah, exactly. What did he say? Fuck me for like the 50 Cent, like the 50 Cent. I mean, yeah. I mean, you think this is gonna be like a little short reign, which he has?
I hope so.
Well,
I hope whoever wins Money in the Bank cashes in on her.
On the NXT title. Yeah, that's worse than Austin Theory cashing the US title and failing.
I mean, Charlotte fucking won the Royal Rumble and challenged Ripley.
She did. I mean, so it's possible, but I don't know, man. So is the writing on the wall? Is Stephanie up to the main roster?
She got to take Booker T with her.
Hey, you got the fans saying that nonsense now too.
So good. Is she always gonna sing it? Booker is so fucking funny, man.
This man might take Jerry Lawler's crown as the horniest man in wrestling as far as commentators.
I mean, horny. He's just excited about the moves.
Okay.
Booker ain't never said nothing out of pocket. Y'all just want him to be horny because y'all horny.
Okay, that man was about to pop a vessel when Sexy Red was out there.
Sexy Red.
Okay. Hey,
what was he supposed to do?
Hey, shout out to Booker T, the old horny uncle.
Y'all gonna get off my dog.
That's at the barbecue. That's always a little bit too touchy with your cousins.
That's you, nephew?
Exactly.
Oh man, well, man, we ain't gonna have time for power rankings and street clothes wrestler of the week. We've been going for a minute. But if you got anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here, man, let me know because I just my wrestling meter, I'm on E right now.
Yeah, man, it was a marathon of wrestling, and it's kind of like the reset point for AEW a little bit. On the road to All In, and WWE is in that weird time period where you got Money in the Bank coming up, and then it's all horses ahead to SummerSlam. So you kind of reset and move forward like it always is. It's wrestling, man. The show never ends, right?
Never stops. It's wrestling on right now.
Indeed.
Well, for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been the Boot to the Face episode where I have turned the corner. I'm all elite officially.
Rucker's all elite. We have to put the graphic up there somehow.
Triple H can go fuck himself. And fuck Shawn Michaels too.
Hey man, Shawn Michaels, you see how he got the woman cooking in NXT? You gotta give him credit for that.
Shawn Michaels, a piece of shit. Who else is a piece of shit in WWE? Everybody associated with DX suck. You know what? My dog CM Punk told us years ago. He said Vince is going to run this company into the ground unless he dies or leaves, and he's going to leave it to his dumbass son-in-law. And goddamn it, he was right. I'm sorry, Punk. You were right the whole time.
Yeah. Fast forward 10 years later, them smiling and cheesing in the photos, pointing at each other. So, see how that went.
That's not the point. For EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Until next time. Peace.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold with a tombstone, grab her the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem, everybody.